Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So I already blurred about this a little bit in the Promised Neverland video, but I figure I'll get to that before I start reacting to the chapter. So apologize for the delays in getting out my read-through videos. It's been kind of a hectic week. Work life, all that stuff kind of been keeping me down a little bit, and I have had to upgrade my computer. Like, this is still the old one, but it's giving me some technical stuff, so I still have to set up my new computer with that. So hopefully next week will be less problematic. But quick rundown. So expect Alita, Monstrous, Promised Neverland, and One Piece videos today. They'll be uploading and recording and post it to my channel throughout the day today. By tonight, I hopefully should have all of them uploaded and ready to go. And then, like I said, next week I will have a long weekend coming up, so hopefully I'll be able to dive into some more longer term projects during that time. But yeah, without any more fanfare, let's get into One Piece chapter 950, A Soldier's Dream. As usual, we have translations by Stephen Paul, lettering by Vanessa Satone. So limited cover series number 24, Gang Badges, Oh My Family, Volume 2. Chiffon's going, I want to see my twin sister Lola. So apparently we're going to see, next time we see Chiffon and Bej with the Big Mom reunion, Lola will be there with them. So you go to Udon and you see flashback to Kid going, you want to fight against Kaido again? And you see these magnetic powers pulling in all the bits of metal towards him. Luffy's like, you want to join in with me? He's like, are you crazy? You saw what happened. So you swish, like, to my part. It's like, you saw what happened to my partner. So Kid's made himself the gigantic magnetic arm again. And he thinks so back to Hawkins and Apu, both of who betrayed him. And he goes, I'm sick of the alliance. I don't trust anyone. So he smashes his way out of the prison. And he goes, consider it a gift that I don't kill you right here. So he goes, let's go, Killer. Let's get our people back. So he and Killer head out, and Kid sheds the giant arm for a smaller mechanical one. And he goes, we do things our own way. So excavation labor camp Udon. Like, pirates? So the Straw Hat Man is a pirate just like Kaido? Like, yes, but no. We can't trust him. Who knows when he'll betray us? Why would you bring us a pirate of all people? And Rise was like, listen, the seas are vast and there are many kinds of pirates out there. If you interact with him, you'll understand that he does not lie. This man is the linchpin to the overthrow of Kaido. And Hyogoro is thinking, oh dear, we need something more to convince them, but at least they're lively again. So some of the prisoners go, besides, is it really true that you came here from 20 years in the past? You always looked old to begin with, Raizo. What if you just plain aged 20 years? He's like, what? Are you taking this opportunity to insult me? And Hyogoro's like, where did the Straw Hat fellow go? And you see him in the, I assume, the officer's tower now. And he's like, Tama, it's dangerous here. You shouldn't be. She's like, sorry about this, big bro, but I'm glad to see you're all right. Momo's like, no, he's not. He's dying. And you see Chopper set himself up a little table. He's got all his little beakers out. And he goes, don't touch him. I'm finding the right antibody now. What's the point of making a show of it not affecting you if you're just going to hide it and suffer? I know that virus is killing you. Why don't you think about consequences? Apologize to me. Man, alright, I'll address all that stuff at the end. Like, I don't want to really divert it with talking about that now, but Luffy's like, sorry, it hurts, help me. And Momo's like, Luffy might be stupid, but he is truly extraordinary despite it. I could never do such a thing. And he's like, yeah, well, that's 'cause you're stupid and cowardly and weak and a chicken and totally helpless. And Momo's like, silence, you insolent dog. That was not an invitation for you to add on. And Tom was just holding him back, being like, don't hit him or you'll catch it, Momo. He's like, go on, Momo. The one they're all waiting for is you. He's like, yeah, stop it, you fool, you'll kill me. He's like, huh? So you hear a thwad, so I think Luffy just tossed him out the window. And all the prisoners notice him and go, huh? He's like, ah. And they go, ah. And they all get on their knees. And they go, Lord Momonosuke. And Hyogoro goes, I see. What we were missing was a dream. Something that lies beyond the battle. So they all just bow down to him and go, it is good to see you alive and well. And it's not me. What I see reflected in their eyes, so Momo's thinking, it's not me. What I see reflected in their eyes must be my father, the great shadow cast by the Kozuki clan that supported Wano for all those years. And he goes, it's never felt so heavy upon me until now. Don't be afraid, Momonosuke. And he goes, everyone, please hear me out. I will tell you what happened that terrible day and what we have been doing up to this point. And they're like, yes, sir. And Kawamatsu's like, it is a relief to see Lord Momonosuke looking so bold. But for now, there's a place I urgently wish to go. But I'll rejoin the group before the battle. And Raizo's like, very well then. So then with a bang, we go to Kuri Wano. And so we're back to Ashura Doji, and he goes, this is 20 years for you. This is how hard it is to continue believing in legends. As insubstantial as the clouds. 10 years was as far as we could get. And you see Kinemon and Dogstorm is looking at something. And he goes, they couldn't take it any longer. They headed to Onigashima, and they all died. So you see the area where the cherry blossoms are. There's a bunch of gravestones. Just sprout out all over the hills. And, even the cherry blossom area looks really, really decrepit. There's very few cherry blossoms left on the trees. And you flash back to, it's been 10 years, we're older now. If we have to wait 20, we'll be even weaker. And you want us to keep waiting for people who might never actually return? So Shuradoji goes, trust in them. Kinemon and the others will come back. They'll have Lord Momonosuke with them. And they go, we won't follow Orochi, so we have nothing to eat. We'll die of illness before it ever comes to fighting. They're like, it's Kaido's army. They busted the well. It's like, yeah, haha. They burned the fields. It's like, we can't wait any longer, Shutenmaru. And he goes, forget it. You're wasting your lives. We don't stand a chance unless we raise a full army with the Kozuki name. And so they and the others go, at least let me die properly, with the katana in my hand. If I'm going to die one way or another, it might as well be as a samurai. Don't try to stop us. And they go, do you remember when we were just strapping boys? How we would scream to test our mettle? After all, when people value themselves too much, they become cowards who take no risks. After all, when people value themselves too much, they become cowards who take no risks. Okay, so you go, Su, surrender your name. So Su, render your name and be as a child. Leap before you look. Remember our abbreviation. You raise your voice and shout, Sunachi. So basically shorten, surrender your name and be as a child to Sunachi, which was the shout that, Momonosuke was doing that Kiku was telling him not to say. So, Shutenmaru is looking with tears in his eyes as they all sail off across the seas. And he's going, come back here. And then with another ba-bang, we're back to the graveyard. And he goes, why did it take 20 whole years? And Dogstorm goes, we will know when the job is done. And Kinemon is like, there must be a meaning to it all. Oh, this is so amusing. Alright. Again, this is not something I want to get into with this. I'll get into it once I've done with the chapter. But Shutenmaru is like, I don't intend to doubt Lord Oden. Hey boys, the time in 8 days, the night of the fire festival, the mission to raid Onigashima in the Kozuki name, and take the heads of Kaido the pirate and Shogun Orochi. Join us if you have what it takes. So all his men are screaming, of course we do, Chief. This day's all we've waited for. Lord Yasue's death won't be in vain. Kinemon's like, Ashura, then you'll... And he goes, you're still the way you were back then, Kinemon. We might have been the same age once, but now we're 20 years stronger. Ba-bang! And he's like, ain't that right, dog? And they just like clasp each other's shoulders. He's like, he makes a good point. Kinemon's like, shut up, you geezers had better not hold us back. And they're like, what? Like, now, please don't get into a fight here. None of us can break up an Akazaya quarrel. Then you have forest outside the flower capital. Ka-ting! And you see some of the ninjas have been cut down. With a gruff. And Zoro cuts down another one. And they go, curse you! And you have Enma's shrine deep in the forest. It's like, oh. I was like, is that all of them? How many of these stupid ninja are in this army anyway? So someone opens the door of the temple with a swish. He's like, I'm sorry, I've been a burden on you. He's like, maybe so, but don't worry about it. If I let you die, I'd have to answer to Momonosuke. You going back to that house in the snow? And Hiyori's like, anywhere is fine as long as I can hide. But I'm worried about Otoko. I hope she's alright. I left her with my people. She'll be fine, physically speaking. Right now, I want to go after the guy who took my sword. So Hiyori's like, I will take you there, of course. To the famous Bandit's Bridge of Ringo, I presume. And Zoro's like, I gotta get it back by the time of the battle. And she flashes back to, God, I can't remember the bandit guy's name. But it flashes back to him saying, you cannot understand the value of the great Shusui. And he goes, the weight just doesn't sit right on my waist without it. I can't forgive Orochi for this. I'm going to avenge Tonoyasu's death. And then Hiyori, I think this is Hiyori saying, as far as Orochi goes, I wish that I could kill him myself. And Zoro's kind of giving her a look. And you see Flower Capital. He's like, what's the matter with you? You've been acting strange. He's like, oh? He's like, it's nothing. Let's get this over with. So that's Hawkins talking to Drake. And he goes, yes, the job is simple. Once it speaks, it'll be over very quickly. I know you've got a connection to the Straw Hat crew. So you're going to tell me what you're plotting here in Wano. All of it. So Law just tied up and beaten bloody with smug grin on his face as he's sitting back. Next chapter hits August 4th. Alright. Give me like a few minutes just to kind of get my thoughts in order before I post a review, but yeah. Alright. So Wano is still week to week has been the most mixed arc I've read because I like the background. I like, the whole Japanese aesthetic of Wano, but all the other beats so far have been very, very generic. Because apart from, take away the time travel, Momonosuke and those guys not having been there for 20 years, etc., suffering. This feels like it's Dressrosa light. Like, there's nothing very specific about Wano that makes me think, apart from the aesthetic, that this is unique among the arcs that's come before us. And I pointed this out in my earlier reaction reviews and all the other stuff I've thought about. In that Wano hasn't done anything to separate itself out from the other arcs, and even the Straw Hats investment in the characters of this arc isn't as powerful as the other ones, because we had the good moment with the last chapter where Luffy's like, oh, Tama, I have a friend named Tama, I'm doing this for her, etc. But there's no emotional connection for me as a reader to any of the characters in this arc. I don't really care about Kinemon. I don't really care about Raizo. I don't really care about Kawamatsu. We had, Shutemaru Shorodoji this chapter being like, oh, we waited 20 years for you, with the very convenient plot device of oh, why was it 20 years? There must have been a reason. The reason is the Straw Hat Pirates exist at this point in time. They're the ones that are going to take down Kaido. I'm betting you anything the reveal will be that Toki was able to see into the future like Charlie was, when when she predicted the Great Pirate Age, and she would have realized that 20 years from now the saviors of Wano will show up, and so I'm boosting you ahead to that time because that's the only point in time when Wano will be truly liberated, whatever. So, like, the convenient plot devices aside, I have no real reason to care about any of the people in this arc so far. Like, maybe that'll change. Maybe once we get into kind of the thick of battle, we'll have something, but it's been very, very generic, even among, like, all the other arcs so far. Like, there's nothing in this conflict that separates it out from any of the other ones we've had so far. So I don't know, like, the emotional investment in this arc is like seesawing back and forth right now. So I'm hoping something happens soon to kind of change that. But yeah, apart from that, it feels like Act 2 of Wano is coming to a close relatively soon, I want to say, because apart from the massive speculation I've done about which characters aren't going to show up, we still haven't seen Cat Viper show up, so we know that he has to show up, and depending on if Oda is going to split this into a traditional Kabuki act with the five acts together, or if he's going to do a traditional play with just the 3 acts, then whatever the break between Act 3 is should set up kind of like the climax and the final conflict. So I think it's like noted at the end of the chapter, it's now 8 days until the raid on Onigashima. So the Reverie is 1 day away from ending. So I'm hoping that during the Part 3 break, we'll be on the 7th day when Reverie ends is when the Part 3 break will happen. And hopefully Oda goes back to Reverie and kind of gives us at least an update, like the most, I would like at least the minimum an update on Reverie and kind of what happened there. And I wonder if events, because right now I think everyone's kind of expecting that events on Wano, events on Reverie will basically be mutually exclusive. Like, we won't really find out what happens at Reverie until Wano ends because Wano's closed off, etc. I'm more of the mind that the events are going to intermingle, so events at Wano might affect events at Reverie and vice versa, but I'll have to kind of wait for Part 3 to see if that's what's really going to happen. This was, again, like, this was a theory I posited twice now. So kind of refresher, like I posted this on my Twitter. But the first time Luffy got one-shotted by Kaido, I wondered if his Viver card would flare up and kind of show, indicate to the Grand Fleet that, or would make the Grand Fleet panic and think, oh shit, what the hell's happening to Luffy's Viver card's life force is going down. And I'm still kind of on that train with now the mummy virus, wondering, and with how badly he's being affected by it, I wonder if that'll also happen and kind of lead into Part 3 with the Grand Fleet and potentially everyone else that has his Viver card, cough cough Sabo at Reverie, cough cough, if that will make them move and try to figure out what the hell's going on, why is his life force fading so fast. I'm also mixed on Chopper, what he's doing right now. Because if Chopper's just like, oh yeah, I mixed together a bunch of medicines, here you go, I found the cure to this mummy disease, I'll be a little bit disappointed because that seems too easy. Because I know I'm the proponent of like the whole, like, Wano will be like the first step in Chopper finding a panacea to cure all diseases. But I want that to be kind of a struggle. I don't want Chopper to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to mix together a bunch of herbs. I found the cure, here you go, no big deal. So I'm hoping that while he's able to mitigate the effects of the mummy disease on Luffy, I don't want him to be able to cure him of it instantly. So yeah, I don't want him to be able to just get rid of it really, really quick. I'm thinking of something else right now. Okay, so this is like my idea just sparking off as I'm talking, but back on Punk Hazard, they mentioned that dragons have dragons are able to adapt to any kind of environment. So I wonder if that will potentially be a part of the cure for Luffy and maybe a solution to the Panacea. Because I was thinking about what if, because Luffy ate part of the dragon on Punk Hazard. Maybe that's boosted his system a little. Like, this is just me tossing crazy ideas out there, like, related to other stuff. But I wonder if that's going to be semi-related to finding the cure. Again, bouncing crazy ideas off. Nothing concrete, but just wanted to toss that out there. Also the stuff with Momonosuke, everyone like worshipping him is again pushing me towards the idea that he's going to play a major role in helping Kaido. I don't see it as Kid Momonosuke in dragon form helping out with the fight, but I still stand by my idea that Luffy is going to fight a sky battle with Kaido with Momo in dragon form. So that'd be kind of a good addendum to like this whole thing about like him, like everyone placing in their faith in him now. So we'll see how that plays out. And I'm curious how that Snatch thing is going to come in, because we now know Kyoshiro is from Wano. So I wonder if we're going to find out his history from, was it Gyakumaru, I think was the bandit's name. I wonder if we're going to find out his history with Wano once Zoro gets towards him. I'm also very, very mixed on this idea of Hiyori saying, I want to kill Orochi, because I feel like this is going to end with another damsel in distress situation where she tries to take him out, she can't do it, and then, Orochi takes her hostage because he's a coward. And then it turns into a situation of Zoro finally learning, the whole hockey thing that Luffy's learning. And he basically like cuts through Hiyori to take out Orochi. I'm hoping that's not the direction it's going to go, but I'm curious to see. I'm going to wait to see how it plays out, but I'm leaning towards being very, very cautious on that end. But yeah, I've also got a few more ideas that I might put out on Twitter later regarding the Kitetsu, because I'm curious about whether, because we know what's his face, Tengu, I cannot remember his name for the life of me right now, the Tengu guy, Hitetsu mentioned the curse, so I feel like again that's gonna be something relevant to this arc, so I wonder how the Kitetsu is going to play into it. But right now, this is all like, I am still waiting for Wano to kind of kickstart itself, because right now the arc it's teeter-tottering, which is kind of weird because most other OP arcs usually start very strong and towards the middle kind of start losing momentum and going downhill, especially post time skip. I feel like that's the pattern, and Wano's kind of the outlier so far, where it started off semi-strong and it's kind of been teetering ever since then. And I wonder if that's related to all the health issues and everything that Oda's been having lately, if it's because he's been trying to rush the arc or because he's been trying to experiment with it. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what my conclusive thought on this arc will be until we see how everything plays out. But I think right now I am firmly rooted in hope for the best, expect the worst in Wano, because I don't like, there's so many elements out there that could end up being really good or they could just end up being really shitty, and I don't know what to expect. But it's an okay chapter. Hoping next one picks up a little bit more, and maybe next one we might see the other Straw Hats, kind of see where they are and move on from there and kind of see, all right, where we're going to go from there like set up the other players before Act 3. But who knows? Hoping this picks up soon, because Wano has been running for a year and a half now, and man, I have not felt arc fatigue so quickly from any other arc except this one. So here's really hoping Oda kicks it up a notch. Alright, I think that's enough rambling from me on that end. Thank you everyone for tuning in and joining me with this. I hope you enjoyed my rambling ideas. Let me know if you have different opinions on Wano. You know, if you have different expectations, or if you think my ideas are crazy. And until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.